Hey there! Today I have for you a special pen, a pen that you can't just run into the store and pick up anymore because it was a limited edition, but this is a pen with, I would say, an interesting design story. It's a Visconti pen, a slightly older box. I got this through eBay because, as I said, you can't really find this in stores anymore, and I think this pen has a lot going for it. This was already featured in my GOAT 2015 video, so the greatest of all time pens, my personal favorites. But I hadn't done a review yet, so I'm doing that now. This is the box. It's not the standard Burlwood Visconti box, although it is nice and shiny. You can see the camera right there. And pretty cool. You open it up, I took the pen out, I'll show you that in 1 second, but of course it lies in this little bed usually. And this is the Titanic model, the Royal Mail ship Titanic. Comes with two things, an identity card on, I have to say, very nice paper. It's laid paper, and it has a lot of nice detail on it. I like that. And also some filling instructions and such. I'm putting that back. Let me show you the pen. It's a Visconti, and this is a big one. It's a big Visconti. I happen to have here a Lamy All-Star. This is not a small pen. It's sizable. I think it has some cool features. All right. Let me cover the parts of the pen. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. Let's start at the very top of the cap. Right there, you can see that this is a really attractive celluloid they use throughout the pen, and I really like that. Then you have that sort of gold ring there, and then you have the clip. Now the clip, I think in itself is a work of art. It's a limited edition pen, and they made later editions too, even a very special edition that came with one of the Visconti crystal inkwells that has a lid that, as I understand it, is made of bronze that was actually reclaimed from the wreck of the Titanic. And this is not that pen. This was the quote-unquote regular edition, even though it is a limited edition. Now, the clip is very special. It has 112 there, because that's my number 112 of 1912. Pens, of course, 1912, year of the maiden voyage / sinking of the Titanic. The clip, unique design. First of all, here you have the V, which is Visconti's V, but this thing is supposed to be a boat, a ship, and that ship is sailing towards an iceberg, which is both a very nice eye for detail, as well as really macabre when you think about it, actually, but you know, it's what they did. The iceberg is a little wheel, so you can easily slide this into a shirt pocket or something. You have this great celluloid, and you have two rings there. We have the barrel, very long. This is a big pen, and it's one of Visconti's power fillers. Now, the ink capacity of this pen is insane. It is the highest non-eyedropper capacity, non-eyedropper pen I own, and it's really big. I think I measured it and came close to 4 milliliters or something, so it's a really significant pen. Cap unscrews, and then you have the pen. The pen has one of the old 18-karat gold nibs. This is a broad, very, very pleasant. What I will say is I had to do a little bit of work. I found it a little skippy, but once I had that smoothed out, it was great. So I really like the way it writes. You have this section, nice hourglass, and then threads which are really fine. And what I mean by that is they're not at all sharp. Of course, just a feed, it's a nib unit you can unscrew if you really want to. And here you have the ink window. Right now there's very little ink in there, but I'll show you that in a sec. You have the barrel. As I said, this is a long barrel pen. And on the barrel it has a blind engraving that says RMS Titanic, Visconti Firenze, and LTD 1912, because there were 1912 of these pens. And there's also the flag of the White Star Company I really don't know how well the camera will pick this up, but you see the flag near my finger there, which the White Star Company, of course, has nothing to do with Mont Blanc, but that was the ship company that actually owned the Titanic ship. This is the piston, so you unscrew that and then pull it out. Now what I wanted to show you, first of all, you're going to see the ink rolling in there, which is always a lot of fun, but look at how thick the material is. That is a serious chunk of celluloid, which I think is very, very neat. And at the end of the cap there, the end cap is nothing. Okay, screw that back in place, and just to show you, it's no small pen. This is a big oversize, not so much in girth, but it's long, and if you are nuts enough to post it, and then you end up with a telephone pole. This is not feasible, also completely unnecessary, because I don't think there's anyone who can have such huge hands that he cannot use this posted. So yeah, a very sizable pen in, again, an absolutely stunning celluloid, and that's one of the important reasons I fell in love with this. And of course you can make up all kinds of you know, you can read all kinds of things into this. For example, well, it's a ship-themed pen, so this is supposed to be oceans with islands or countries in it, continents, etc. I really don't know if that was the thinking, but I do think it matches the theme very well. Okay, so there you have it, the Visconti Titanic. What do I like about the pen? What do I not like about the pen? There's a lot of things I like about it. The size is great. It's a very nicely balanced pen because it is big, but the girth is fine. I'm not necessarily meaning balance in weight, but I mean balance in the way it feels. Long, but not too girthy. I like the nib. As I said, I had to do some work on it, and of course if you buy a pen like this, I don't know what the price was. I know what I paid for it, but I don't know what the price was when these things were launched. I do think that I got a good price on this, but you're not talking about a €200 pen. I think there is some great eye for detail in this. I mean, the clip with the little ship and the iceberg, that's very cool. I like that. As I said, a little bit macabre, but it, you know, I also think it works. Yeah, it's just neat. And then there's enormous ink capacity, which is great. I mean, if you fill this up completely, you can write for days and days and days on end, and you don't have to re-ink it, which is very neat. Things I don't like about it so much. Well, a pen this price with a nib that needs work, and I really like the old Visconti gold nibs. I think they were much nicer than the newer palladium nibs, but even this one required some work. They really need to get that under control. The clip, although nice, is a bit loose, and I understand that is an issue with all of these pens. I mean, it kind of connects with these prongs here, and then it's connected to the inside of the cap, and that bothers me a little bit. But it's I understand that's how it's supposed to be, so okay, apparently nothing they could do to make the construction sturdier. I definitely don't want to squeeze it with pliers, obviously, so that's a bit of an issue. My other issue with the pen is, although I like it, and although I like the size, I love the ink capacity is created by just having a giant cylinder, and that's it. The barrel is just a cylinder. There's nothing fancy. There's not like with the Opera series where you have that square with the rounded off corners. This is a cylinder. It's just a round thing. It's like a test tube, basically. I think it's about the same diameter as a test tube, too. That's not the most interestingly featured pen, right? I mean, it's very round, it's very cylindrical, it's very simple. There is a little bit of visual detail with the lip there that the cap fits onto, and of course you have the section which is not all cylindrical. But I mean, this enormous barrel is all a cylinder. Visually, I think it would be nice if there was something to capture your attention. For example, if this engraving would actually be... sorry, let me make that focus. If that engraving would actually be filled with some type of white chalk or whatever, then I think there would be something that draws your attention. I think that would make it a little bit more appealing. Having said that, I think this is a very fascinating pen that I'm currently enjoying. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I think that's very cool. Now, final thing I wanted to say is, of course, this pen was made to commemorate the sinking of the Titanic, which was a terrible disaster. And what I take from that is that whenever I use this pen, and now this is the moment where we get mushy, so we probably have some sort of type of sad violin music in the background, but remember that things happen, alright? Remember that things happen. Things go wrong, accidents happen. So whenever I use this pen, I always think of my loved ones, alright? Because you just don't know. One day to the next, something can happen, they can be gone. And obviously, something like the Titanic, terrible, terrible disaster. And these things happen even these days, right? Planes crash, etc. I'm not trying to make you all terrified or anything, but all I'm saying is, remember it. Remember your loved ones. So, here's the homework assignment Dr. Brown assigns you. After watching this review, find someone who's important to you and tell them that you love them. Alright? Because you never know. Be aware of it. Okay, next thing we're going to do is a writing sample. That's coming up next. High resolution pictures of the pen will be on the website sbrebrown.com, as well as measurements of this pen. That's all there's to it. I hope this was useful so far, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye. Okay, here we go with the Visconti Titanic. I think this skip was because I misaligned the nib, but we'll see that in a sec. This is a broad 18K nib, and the ink is Pelican Royal Blue. Okay, let's do some writing. Smooth writer, not the type of ultra buttery super smoothness that you get with a well-tuned palladium nib, but definitely not a scratchy nib. Fast writing. I would say I find that fairly impressive. You see, I saw a little bit of a skip there, and this happens quite a lot with this nib, that it kind of railroads a bit, and then it has some issues starting up, but it does pick up again, and then you're ready to go. Wetness, well, it is a broad, and it is a wet nib. That's definitely the case. Line variation, you see that the railroading happens fairly quickly. So even though you can squeeze out some line variation, this pen really starts to railroad quickly, so I wouldn't really get it for flexi writing, although with a bit of luck you can definitely squeeze out some line variation there. Okay, reverse writing, for those of you who enjoy such a thing, you go from a broad to a fine, and you can probably hear this. It's very scratchy and it's not a very pleasant experience. Okay, well, there you have it. The Visconti Titanic. I like it. I think it's a great pen. Of course, it stops writing the moment I say that, but what can you do? I hope this was useful, and I'm glad to see you later. Bye-bye. Every night in my dreams, I see you. I feel you, that is how I know you. Go on, far across the distance and spaces between us, you have come to show you. Go on, near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, you've opened the door, and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. This lovely duet was brought to you by Professor Dr. Tarquin Danglebury and Lord Windermere. That's me. I'm 10 inches. Bye. Every night in my dreams I see you, I feel you, far across the distance and spaces between us. You